David was a conservative married father of two who lived a quiet, conventional life. He worked as an accountant at a local firm and was content with his simple existence. However, everything changed one day when his wife, Amelia, made a surprising request. "David, I have a surprise for you," she said with a gleam in her eye. "I've hired a drag queen to perform at our daughter's birthday party." David was taken aback. He had never heard of such a thing and was unsure how to respond. But Amelia was insistent and explained that she wanted to do something different and fun for their daughter's special day. Despite his reservations, David went along with his wife's plans and soon found himself thrown into the world of drag. The drag queen named Moon was an over-the-top, larger-than-life performer who captivated everyone at the party, including David. As he watched Moon perform, he couldn't help but be drawn to her confidence and charisma. He was fascinated by the way she transformed herself from a regular person into a glamorous diva, commanding the attention of everyone in the room. After the party, David found himself thinking about Moon and the world of drag more and more. He was curious about the motivations behind the performers and what drew them to the lifestyle. Before he knew it, David found himself diving deeper into the drag community, attending shows, and even trying on women's clothing himself. As he explored this new world, David began to question his own sexuality and identity. He had always considered himself a straight married man, but now he wasn't so sure. He was torn between his conventional upbringing and the newfound freedom and expression he was experiencing as he delved into the world of drag. As the days passed, David found himself thinking more and more about the drag community. He couldn't stop thinking about the way the drag queens had performed, and he found himself drawn to the confidence and beauty that they displayed. He started to become curious about the world of drag and began to do some research on his own. Despite his newfound interest in drag, David tried to push these thoughts to the back of his mind. He was a conservative married man with children, and he was afraid of what others might think if they found out about his newfound interest. He tried to ignore his feelings, but they only grew stronger. One day, David decided to attend a local drag show in secret. He was nervous about being seen, but was also excited to experience the energy of the drag community for himself. When he arrived, he was immediately struck by the atmosphere. The room was filled with people of all ages and backgrounds, all there to celebrate the art of drag. David was amazed by the performances and captivated by the confidence and beauty of the drag queens on stage. As the night went on, David found himself talking to some of the performers. He was surprised to find that they were kind and welcoming, happy to answer his questions and share their experiences with him. He felt a sense of belonging that he had never felt before and began to see drag in a new light. David left the drag show feeling empowered and inspired. He realized that he didn't have to be confined by societal expectations and that he could be whoever he wanted to be. He was filled with newfound confidence and excited about the possibilities that lay ahead. As David became more involved in the drag community, he started to see things from a new perspective. He had always lived his life as a conservative straight man, but now he was beginning to question that identity. He found himself drawn to the glamour, excitement, and freedom of the drag scene, feeling more confident and alive than he had in years. At first, David tried to keep his involvement in the drag world a secret from his wife and friends. But as he grew more confident in his new identity, he began to let more and more people in on the secret. He was surprised by the support he received from his friends, many of whom were also drawn to the drag scene. However, David's wife was not supportive. She was shocked and hurt when she learned that her husband had been dressing up in women's clothing and felt like she didn't know him anymore. She was also worried about what people would say if they found out and feared that their reputation and marriage would be ruined. Despite his wife's reservations, David was determined to continue his exploration of the drag world. He loved the freedom and acceptance he felt in that community and was not willing to give that up. As David continued to perform, he began to realize that he was truly living for the first time and that he was finally able to be true to himself. Although his journey was not easy, it was one of self-discovery and liberation. He learned that it was never too late to pursue your dreams, and that you should never be afraid to be yourself. As he took the stage in his final performance, he knew that he was finally living the life that he was meant to live, and that he was truly happy. As David continued to explore the world of drag and perform as Tina, he began to feel more confident and comfortable in his own skin. He loved the freedom that came with performing and the sense of belonging he found in the drag community. He also found that he had a talent for singing and dancing, which was a newfound passion for him. However, as much as he enjoyed his new hobby, he also struggled with the guilt and confusion it brought about. He still loved his wife and family, but he couldn't ignore the feelings he was having for other men. He didn't know how to reconcile his old conservative values with his new identity as a drag performer. One day, David's wife discovered some of his Tina outfits and was shocked by what she saw. She confronted him about it, and he finally opened up to her about his experiences and feelings. It was a difficult and emotional conversation, but in the end, they agreed to work through their differences and support each other from that moment on. David found a way to balance his conservative family life with his newfound passion for drag. He continued to perform as Tina, but only in safe spaces where he felt free to be himself. He found that he was happier and more fulfilled as a result. He realized that he didn't have to choose between his old values and his new identity, but could find a way to reconcile the two and be true to himself.